Good evening. Welcome to Here's the Life with Zemrah right here at IntellectualRadio.com. And we are, as always, so happy to be here. And what we want to do is talk about, just for a quick minute, that wonderful, we were just sharing with our producers, Wanda B. and Earl, the Wildflower Festival, which was this past Saturday, that I was so happy to be a part of. A wonderful lineup. The musicians were just awesome. The vocalists were wonderful. I mean, it was just a great, great lineup, and I was so happy that Sonabella, chose me to be a part of it. We were saying they had a group, young brothers, on doing straight ahead jazz. I could not.
In their 20s.
I'm telling you, in their 20s, I mean 24, 25.
They were kicking it.
I said you had a couple of brothers on the trumpet that made you. I told Ed I was thinking about Denzel on Mo Better Blues. Boy, these boys was bad. And then they had Thaddeus Dukes on the xylophone. I mean, just phenomenal.
I'd say he's one of the best in the world.
Oh, yes. And it's traveled all over the world. So I was just so impressed. I think this is their third year, Sonabella, doing it. And it was absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. I enjoyed being chosen to be a part of it. And I'd like to thank my guys who played behind me, Mr. Tyrone Blair on drums, Dexter Sims on upright bass, and then Mr. Thomas Gunther on keyboards. So just want to give them a shout out for, a great show.
Really great show.
Yeah, it really was. And the wonderful announcement that when Sonabella announced me, it was she did it. She did her thing for me. I really love that girl.
Introduction.
Yeah, wonderful introduction. So we are going back to talk about living your best life. And this is a part 2 where we want to talk about, regardless of health challenges that you might be going through, that you got to still find a way to still live your best life. And we have Mr. William Riles joining us, who is the creator of A Cure for You. That's his YouTube channel. And so we have him coming on about 6:20. So if you have anyone, we got to start. And really, with the health industry being the way it is today, it's important. And I've said this several times even before, but now it's critical because you got this FDA where you don't know what's approved, what's not approved, and you're going through all of that, and all the recalls that they're having on vegetables. They say to eat vegetables and fruit, but you got to make sure that you clean even your meats. So we're going to talk about some of that with William, and he's good. Ed and I are fixing to do a program with him, a detox. And those are one of the things that he's going to talk about. And we are really absolutely excited about it because one thing, again, with the fruits and vegetables, and I'm a salad eater, I really am. I should almost look like Twiggy because I love salads. I could eat a salad every day. I don't know if anybody goes to Jason's Deli, but I love Jason's Deli. Sometimes I get Wilder when we have our concert meetings. Wilder say, I know Jason's Deli because on Roosevelt, because they moved from they had one on 95th Street, but their salad bar is absolutely wonderful. It's phenomenal. Everything's on their salad bar. But again, with the fruits and vegetables, you have to be so careful. So he is going to, he shared with us about the proper way to even wash your meat, which you should use apple cider vinegar along with baking soda. And I mean, wash your meat good with that. He is not really for eating pork, but if you are going to do it, then you need to make sure that you wash all your meats with apple cider vinegar and baking soda in order to get all of the parasites out, the worms, and we'll be surprised what really is in meat, and especially pork.
Which is the basic cause most of our problems is the parasites that's in the gut,
Yeah.
where
And the gut is where everything comes
everything
from.
starts.
Yeah. It's where everything starts.
And the difference is in his name. He says a cure for you. No doctors these days talking about a cure. They're talking about a treatment, but they don't talk about a cure.
Because a lot of them don't know. It's just like what we talk about the lymphatic system and and lymphedema. A lot of doctors, you'll be surprised, they don't, when you see women with their legs and thighs real big and their hips really expanded, that does not necessarily mean that they have eaten their way to this. A lot of times after you've had cancer or breast surgery, or some type of scraping of the uterus. A lot of times women are not really even aware of that, but that's where lymphedema comes from, with the heavy thighs and the big legs and the skin drooping over. If you go online and you look that up, you'll see the figure of a person that has lymphedema. Well, a lot of doctors are not savvy on that. And that's unfortunate, because if that is not looked after or corrected, I mean, they'll tell you, you have to do these wraps, and you have to wear support hose, support stockings, to really make sure that you keep all of that down, because the reason why you want to do that is to keep sores from occurring. So that's why it's important to make sure that if you are real, real heavy and you wondering, well, what is this coming from? And a lot of times it can be in your arms, and you have that excess fat hanging. It does not have to be, where it's absolutely weight
And
from
it's not
eating or whatever. It is absolutely coming from lymphedema.
and it's not the kind of weight you can lose.
You
You,
have to have you have to really, right, you have to really have some treatments for that, to keep the fluid down, because that's what it is, fluid buildup. And so once you have those wraps, and there's certain exercises that you can do to keep your lymphatic system healthy, then that's what you want to do. But a lot of people, they don't understand, or they just wonder, what is this? But that is what a lot of times that comes from cancer, and people don't know it, or a scraping of the uterus for women. So just, so anyway, William is going to talk to us about, like we've said before, about being an advocate for yourself, because right now you can have a problem going on, and you can't really even get doctor's appointments. I know some people, you got some things going on with your kidneys, and even your heart. And and they might set an appointment. Like, I had to have a bone density test, and I set it up like in January, but I couldn't even get an appointment until the early part of June. And I almost said, man. And so I said, well, go on and keep it. But meanwhile, I'm going to check with Northwestern. This was with Advocate. And so I was able to wind up getting one at Northwestern, because it took that long. And it
yeah,
still was far off.
sometimes delay is a blessing because most of the time the doctors don't really know what's wrong with you in the first place. And if they diagnose you, they still don't have a cure for it. So it forces you to look for alternatives. And
Absolutely.
one of the alternatives, like the brother we're going to talk to today, is heal yourself. Because the more you know about your body, the better you can heal yourself. Because you can tell the doctor certain things that he doesn't know. Why? Because he was never taught. They never taught him about the human body and nutrition.
Well, that's not, I wouldn't say that he's never been taught about the human body,
No, no, no,
but I would
no.
say nutrition, the
He,
natural way.
yeah, and he doesn't know anything about that because
Right.
they don't teach it.
Right.
So therefore, he doesn't know there's something. All thing he knows is whatever you uh, malady that the body has, there's a cure for it. I mean, there's not a cure, but there's a drug for it.
Right.
And most of the time, it's 3 and 4 drugs. So you're taking a handful of pills, and they all counteract each other, and the side effect alone will kill you.
Right.
I mean, that's what they say. Well, the side effects is fainting, passing out, heart trouble, diabetes.
Yeah.
This is just a side effect.
Right.
So,
It can create so many things. And that is scary, because when you start taking those, but then again, you have to be able to discern for yourself. And some things, you have to just let the doctor know, after I read those side effects, I'm really not comfortable with it.
Right.
But we always encourage you to still follow the regimen because that is still important. We're not doctors. We believe our belief is natural. If you can do something to add on to that naturally, you do that. But as far as us sitting up here and saying that even we have cures, no one can really say
No, they're
that.
not a
So
cure.
you want to make sure, like if you are on blood pressure medicine, if you are on, and then it's always important to question your doctor too. Now, if I take
Please.
this, then what can I expect? Or just to kind of give you an idea, but you want to make sure that you can incorporate, um, and then that can work. But
Well, a lot of times they're reluctant to tell you what the side effects are. So they
yeah,
don't.
because now even when you get your prescription, it doesn't have all them side effects on it anymore when you pick up your prescriptions. But it is urgent and very important that if you're taking a prescription medicine for blood pressure, high blood pressure, diabetes, and other things, cholesterol, because cholesterol, they say it's not. And I'm going to ask him a little bit about that because I do know that some people say that it's not cholesterol that really causes strokes. People that deal with stuff naturally, they say that that's not always cholesterol, high cholesterol, that can give you a stroke. But I always say to make sure that you take your blood pressure medicine. That's important. A lot of people, like it does after you've been on it for so long, you want to try and see if, but you can't just wean yourself off of prescriptions like that that's dealing with your kidneys and dealing with your blood pressure and all those kind of things. You have to be very, very careful with. You can't just wean yourself off. I don't
Well,
care if
you
you are
should make
taking
sure
something, but
make
you
sure
can.
you have a blood pressure monitor where you can monitor your own blood system.
And some people
No
do
matter
that,
what
and
you're
then some people
taking,
don't.
it doesn't matter what you're taking or what you try to take. Always monitor it. See whether it goes up or down.
Yeah,
Because sometimes some people's bodies are they react immediately if they don't take if they medicine.
yeah, they get
If they miss
headaches.
a couple of days, they immediately have a reaction.
Yeah, some people have headaches, and then that's why they say that's a silent killer
And some
because some
people,
people don't
and
have
some,
any warning,
none at all.
none.
They don't even know that their blood pressure is 200 or something
Right, right.
unless they check.
So that's why that's a good point,
Well, that's
Ed.
what I
If
was
you haven't
saying.
wanted,
That's why it's a good thing that sometimes when you can't see a doctor and you seek alternatives, that's even better for you because they'll tell you to change your diet,
oh
change what
yeah,
you eat,
change your lifestyle.
cleanse your colon.
Yes,
Because a lot of the things that's wrong with you comes out of your colon, and most of your problems come from your gut. So if you clean that and change your diet, you'll probably cure a lot of the diseases that we have today.
right.
Well,
You have to keep your lymphatic system clean and definitely keep your gut and keep your stool where it's constantly where you go regular. That's important to keep your colon clean.
but didn't he say that as black people, our DNA is different from anyone else's or anyone else's?
I think he did, and we'll
I
let
think
him explain that.
right.
Because our bodies are, I mean, everybody's body is different, but then, and then I just think, they, as like they say too, sugar is just, everybody says the sugar is just, like I love ginger beer, for example. I really do. And it's a natural with the ginger. And I was fixing to purchase some on this past Saturday. And I could not believe that one can was 180 calories. And then they had 49 grams of sugar. And then added sugar was 49 grams. That was dangerous. I hurried up and put that back on the shelf.
But you read it.
Oh, I read it and saw it. So it's
But
like,
that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't read the ingredients in the stuff they're taking.
I read those ingredients, honey. And that's why I really and truly, if you don't I love seltzer water, and they have so many good seltzer waters, that you can drink, and it's no sugar. Um, Also, we do the cherry juice, which is excellent for your joints, and so that really helps with, you know, with the
The
yeah, like I said,
digestion.
the joints,
Right.
straight tart cherry juice is good for all of that. So you drink a glass of that a day. You even feel good when you drink that. You can feel it almost in your knees. So it just depends on how um, how your body absorbs. Absorption is very good. That's why you want to make sure that you keep everything clean because the absorption of your body is key. So we're going to take a short break, and he should be calling in shortly and listen to one of my tunes from Love Is Possible, and you know it is.
Yeah. Baby, let's cruise away from here. Don't be confused. The way is clear. And if you want it, you got it forever. This is not a one night stand, baby. Let the music take your mind. Just release and you will find you're gonna fly away. Glad you're going my way. I love it when we're cruising together. The music is played for love. Cruising is made for love. I love it when we're cruising together. Baby, tonight belongs to us. Everything's right. Do what you must. And inch by inch, we get closer and closer to every little part of each other. Oh, baby. So let the music take your mind. Just release and you will find fun. You're gonna fly away. Glad you're going my way. I love it when we're cruising together. The music is played for love. Cruising is made for love. I love it when we're cruising together. Ooh, yeah. Cruising, yeah. Let's cruise, let's float, let's glide. Let's open up and go inside. And if you want it, you got it forever. I can't stay there inside you. I love you, baby. Let the music take your mind. Just release and you will find you're gonna fly away. Glad you're going my way. I love it when we're cruising The music is played for love. Cruising is made for love. I love it when we're cruising together. Cruise, cruise. I love it when we're cruising together. Made for love, made for love. I love it when we're cruising together. Cruise, cruise. Baby, let's cruise away from here.
Good evening, and we are back here at IntellectualRadio.com. Here's the Life with Zemrah and Ed. And as promised, we have on our call Mr. William Riles, and we kind of pumped you up. He is also a phenomenal airbrush artist. Is that correct, William?
Thank you, and yes, I am.
Okay, so we welcome you here to our IntellectualRadio.com, which is a platform ran by two beautiful people, a brother and sister, Wanda B. and Earl Winfrey. So we want to get started and just ask you a few questions about some of the things that you were sharing with us. We kind of pumped it up and talked a little bit about what you do and the importance of what you do, being an advocate for your own health, which we know that is very important with the way everything is going with the physicians nowadays, and not even really having the time a lot of times to even see us until later on. We want to try and go forth and be an advocate for ourselves. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and some of the things that you've been through. We have our producer, like I stated, Mr. Earl Winfrey, who might have a question for you with a couple of things that he's experiencing. So tell us a little bit about you, a little history.
Okay, well, to start, I am a airbrush artist of 37 years now, and as of now, I'm an 8-year cancer survivor of colon cancer. And for the last, I want to say off and on, 7 years, I've expressed the importance of taking care of your health, especially for Black men in the United States of America, because we fall into a real bad chart of things. And in 2014, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, and the same month, literally 30 days during the time that I found out, I got to meet the late, great Dr. Sabi and was introduced to my personal elder, Mr. Christopher Williams. And for 30 days, he taught me what I was dealing with. And for a year and a half, he trained me in the things that I needed to know to get myself back in order.
Okay.
And I am alive because of those two great men.
Wow. We bless them for that, because you've blessed and helped a lot of others behind that. So what did you experience, William, when you went through what you went through as far as the colon cancer? I mean, like, what were some of your symptoms?
Well, the first thing that
a person should look out for.
The first thing is pay attention to how your stomach feels. Your colon is connected to your left side of your body. So you kind of feel like you have the bubble guts. That's one sign of it. You may go to the washroom and you may experience blood coming out of your rectorial area. That's another sign. And losing weight, feeling weak, And that is a trigger from a few things outside of a bad diet, extreme stress. And that's what put me down for a while, going through moments where I was dealing with I was actually in the process of separating from now my ex-wife, and was going through some financial issues and a life change that ended up turning topsy-turvy once I found out what had happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope nobody goes through what I went through to actually find out that I was dealing with this, and that's passing out in your store. I passed out in my store, though I won't get too graphic about it, but I passed out in my store. Woke up and I thought I got shot.
Oh,
And,
wow.
yeah. So without being too descriptive of the scenery, it was a horror scene. And I ended up in the hospital for 5 days. 2 weeks later, I got up. I didn't have any other issues other than losing 30 pounds. I ended up finding out 2 weeks later that I had cancer, and that's when the journey began.
Okay. And so what was that journey? What did you do to get yourself back up and strong? And what would you suggest, except for, because you did wind up in the hospital, so the doctors did take care of you. But one of the things that I want you to say is, what was your idea, and what is your philosophy, on chemo or radiation?
I am 1,000% against it.
Okay, and why is that?
Because you can't kill something from an unnatural source and expect natural results 100%.
Okay.
You mind
Simple as that.
explaining that?
Can you say it again? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I see what you mind explaining that.
Sure. Number one, it's like me playing football and you playing basketball, and I'm telling you, you're not playing basketball right, and I've never played basketball before. You got a doctor telling you to take something that they've never taken, but they're convincing you to take it to fix a problem that they've never had.
But if they've seen other people that have gone through it and it worked for them, then what about that?
Then
maybe that's what they've seen.
Then what they should do before, now I'm going to use the basketball/football theory, right? If you're playing a sport and I want to get into playing this sport, then you should have other people that play the sport so I can get an explanation, like a coach who's actually been through the experience of playing that sport. Most of the doctors, and I will challenge any doctor who hears this, most of the doctors have never took chemotherapy or radiation or any type of treatment that deals with cancer because they've never had the symptoms. So they can't be an expert in telling you exactly how this works.
Okay.
So I would challenge the doctor. Bring me somebody that's been through it and show me how they have recovered.
Okay.
In full. At least you have an example for that person to really feel comfortable about going through the process. Another thing about chemotherapy is that I disagree with is that you do not need all of those sessions because the human body repairs itself within a 30-day cycle. A cancer cell reproduces itself within a 14-day cycle, at the maximum 21 days. So therefore, if you're putting this symptom into a person's body and you're telling them to continuously go through this process without a 14 or 21 day recovery time period, that's telling you that the person has never been through it and they don't understand the symptoms because they've never gone through the symptoms. So you're not an expert in cancer research as far as killing or removing the problem. And this is where people like myself have a really hard time really getting this message out. So I've put doctors to a challenge on this philosophy. You can't tell me about something and you've never been through it and say that this is actually 100% effective. That's I think they call it perjury.
Okay,
So
so
I don't want to. I don't play around with that because I know what it's like to feel weak, to feel a tumor in your body that they could have took out with an 8-hour surgery. Instead, they want to inject me with something that's equivalent to the ingredients that they put in the Hiroshima bomb when they bombed Japan in World War II. Uranium. I don't want that in my body. That's not supposed to be in your body. But
so
yet you're
what
convincing me.
so what do you suggest that a person, what solution that you, well, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, because I believe in preventive care. So what would you suggest that a person do to even if because a lot of times too they can say it can be hereditary. Do you believe in that cancer can be hereditary? But then there's some instances where people are, their family didn't have it. And then they wind up with, and you're saying, man, where did this come from? So my question is, so what would you suggest? Because we did talk a little bit about the importance of detoxing, like you had said, and that we were really getting ready to do your program in another week or so. So I wanted to know, what would you tell our listeners how to deal with preventive care, because we're talking about being an advocate. Of course, you want to go to the doctor and get your checkups and do all of that. I really do believe in that, and that's why you make sure that you do that. But I want to, because I notice even the doctors don't really examine you like they used to. Not at all. I've really experienced that myself personally. But anyway, so what would you suggest that a person does to get on the road? Because we know that to keep the gut clean is first very important. So what would you suggest?
The very first thing that a person who is diagnosed with cancer needs to realize, and this is from my experience and from my study. Number one, everyone has a symptom of cancer. Everyone. You just haven't ignited the candle for it to heat up. Do you understand?
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
The human body naturally fights off radical cells 24 hours a day. However, the human body can only adapt to what you give it. So if your lifestyle is healthy, then it's going to do what is necessary to keep you healthy. It's going to follow instructions. When you are living or practicing a very unhealthy, or shall I say frivolous lifestyle, the body is going to adapt to the lifestyle, which means that in order for it to continue surviving and living, it has to alter its life pattern. This is where people unfortunately believe that this is hereditary. That is absolutely false. It's kitchenary, meaning what you put in your mouth based upon what you prepare in the kitchen will determine how high the numbers will be, whether it is a high number of cancer, where it turns acidic. And when it becomes acidic, it becomes effective in your body to live a reversal of how your body is supposed to respond. Or
I'm sorry.
You can actually have it to where when your body sees a problem, it automatically goes to it and rids the problem.
Now, how does that happen?
Basically, every 7 days, your body gives you a report card based upon what you feed yourself, whether it's liquid or solid. And from the DNA, your DNA, by way of your blood type, it will break down exactly what is allowable and acceptable in your body every 24 hours. After that cycle has begun, in 3 days, you start noticing certain effects, whether your energy level is higher or your energy level is lower, where you feel a lot better or you're more stressed out, because your body has to overwork itself. And that's where the etymology of stress comes from. After a certain amount of time, the body is overstressed. It makes the body work harder to keep itself going. And eventually, if it does not get what it needs, basically your minerals and your vitamins, it's going to have to reverse its cycle in order for it to continue moving forward. This is what causes this. This is where your radical cells come in. The radical cells are the cells that say, okay, We have to form this in order for you to continue living. Now, it comes with a caution. After a while, either we're going to die off and you're going to replace us, or we're going to have to replace you with cells that are not going to be agreeable to what you want. So choose your side.
Now is that also with like I'd like for you to explain the, like we talked a little bit about acid reflux and
Yes.
your digestive system, and what how can you resolve some of that if you're having issues with after you eat, you wind up getting sick, regurgitating, no matter what you eat or drink, it comes back up. So what can you do, or what would cause that, and what can you do to to relieve that?
Most acid reflux issues come from high concentrations of red meat not being digested in the body, because the stomach, after a while, has to take a break. And if you do not allow your body to break down the foods, especially large consumptions of meat in the body, then it's going to make it harder for the body to actually get rid of it, because the food begins to fermentate in your body, which creates a gassy area in your body. And eventually the food becomes an acid because it's not being dissolved. Look at it this way. Let's say you got a baby, and if you don't change that baby's diaper after a while, you're going to have diaper rash, right?
Yes.
The urine and the feces turn into an acid, which which eats through the baby's skin. So you have rash. That's the same thing that happens with the meat that you overconsume in your body. It's having the same side effect. And then you have another dimension of that, which is high parasitical activity in your body, which eats the leftovers that's left in there, and they do the same thing like a puppy dog or a baby. It defecates and urinates in your body, gets in your bloodstream, and that's when your acidity issues happen. That's why you may have a large consumption of acidity. And acid is a sign of foods that are not supposed to be eaten in your blood type. You're eating foods outside of your range.
So for your blood type, like for example, just give us, because there's how many blood types, William?
You have 4 basic blood types, and then you have one which is the Rh negative.
Okay, what is the Rh negative?
Rh negatives are those that Rh negatives are is a very old blood type. They're still doing studies on this type.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly Caucasians have it, or those who may have mixed bloodlines are more familiar to have a Rh negative blood type.
Okay. How do, and then I'm gonna come right back. I want you to give the blood types and just give a couple of things that people should be not eating or eating. What yeah, what darn it. Okay. So if you are for an example,
blood type O.
Blood type, yeah, but that's not what I was gonna say.
Can you say that again? I didn't hear you.
What is the resolve, or what would you do if you have that acid reflux? If that's the
First
problem,
thing
what
you
would
have to do with any regimen, you need to do a detox at least for 3 days. No solid foods, only liquids for the time being, so that the body can actually relax and get whatever's out. Get whatever's in the body. You can do simple remedies like yogurt. If you can find a non-dairy yogurt, that helps because it's more of a probiotic issue. The stomach is not breaking down the foods as it's supposed to because it's too much of an acid issue. And inside the stomach, it creates an acid so that it can break down the foods. In this case, the acids that are in your stomach is not doing the job that it's supposed to do because it's too much of an acid that's in the stomach that's causing a conflict. So it's not allowing it to break down a lot because basically you got too much in your system right now for the body to completely digest. So fasting for a couple of days, if you're strong enough to do it, that'll help. Again, and then you want to eat more green foods because green foods have the ability to actually break down the acids in the body without the painful resolve. So eating according to your blood type, foods that have a high pH balance level of 8, 9, and 10 will help that out. Things like grapes, kale, spinach, broccoli, more juices than anything, papaya, because that helps break down the acids. It makes it easier for your stomach to actually break down the foods.
Now, why would you say broccoli? Because I thought broccoli was very gassy.
Everybody says that, but again, this goes back to knowing your blood type.
Right. Okay.
Because
now, how
you're
do
not
people
eating.
get their blood type? So some people don't know. So if they don't know, how should they request that?
Well, it's sad that we have this today because most of my clients that I've talked to, a lot of them do not know what their blood type is, and they go to the doctor, and it's not even on their paperwork. But people, when they go and get a physical, they take blood. So I don't understand that at all. However, some doctors will be able to give you your blood type unless you ask for them to actually send your records, and it should be in there as well. There is a blood type kit that you can get on Amazon and on eBay. It costs about $12 to $15 for the least expensive one. And it's the same technique that if you have diabetes and you prick your hand to get the blood, to get your test, it's the same thing.
Oh, and that'll give it to a person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now, just share with us what the actual blood test. What the the blood type is.
Well, you have A, you have AB, you have B, and then you have O. And of course, you got A positive, B positive, AB positive, and then you got O positive and O negative.
Okay, so for example, what should an A positive or what should they be eating?
Okay,
most of us
A
are O though, right?
Is for quote unquote African Americans or Aboriginal Americans, because I always say that as well. Your diet is more Native American as well as African. We're talking about the A's. Okay? Mm-hmm. So when you are in that type, fish is not your friend. No, not just fish, but shellfish is not your friend. Okay? Those who have an A or a B blood type, you should be very cautious of shrimp, lobster, or any type of shellfish, crab, because after a while, because these are quote unquote, they call them scavenger fish. They eat from the ground, etc. What you're taking into your body is affecting your bloodstream. And a lot of individuals from my study have serious back issues that eat shellfish. Because I'm using this as an example so people can get an easier understanding of what happens when people eat a lot of shrimp, like a lot of seafood. What happens is, if you can imagine your blood going through your body and it has a thickness that is a nutrient for your cells, and the cells eat or take the nutrients from the bloodstream. Okay, so if you have the right nutrients in your blood, the cells are going to absorb it. So you get that full feeling. In some cases, you may feel your muscles kind of tighten, in the right way. Mm-hmm. That's because the cells are full. It has received what it needed. Now, imagine you're eating and your cells, are absorbing the nutrients from the blood. But in this case, it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for here? All of the nutrients is not in the blood. So instead, your blood is thinner. So your body's not getting the vitamins and minerals that it is supposed to get. So now you are weak because you have more acid in your bloodstream. And you end up having small back pain. Your wrist may hurt. You may have issues with your ankles, feeling, you may have a little pain in your ankles, pain in your wrist. Some people call it carpal tunnel because you have more acid in your bloodstream.
Oh, okay. Now
So
let me just quickly ask you this. A lot of people love and eat a lot of salmon. What is your take on that?
Wild salmon is better than the farm-raised salmon in some places because some of this genetically modified fish do more damage to your body because they're not getting the natural nutrients. They're farm raising them, so they're giving them foods that are not supposed to be eaten. And being like catfish and salmon, they're raising them almost like scavengers. So they're feeding them just anything. Like some places I know that they're feeding them like corn. You're not supposed to really be eating corn like that. And this is why some people will have problems with high cholesterol, or they have low vitamin D or low concentrations of iron, because this food actually is not supposed to be eaten because it's not actually being digested in your body. Pardon me while I'm talking to you guys. I stay next door to a fire department, so they're actually passing through. So you may hear that siren in the background.
Oh, that's okay.
So some foods you're not supposed to eat.
Now that's for you talking about the A and B. Now what about the O, right quick? Because
that's my
over.
blood type. I'm an O positive, and allow me to explain something because people are going to find this out real soon, and they're actually talking more about this now. The O blood type is a very dominant blood type in the United States because that is the actual blood type of real Native Americans. Now, that's going to be a controversial issue now with all this birthright stuff that Trump has put out here. And they're literally fighting over that because Black Americans, quote unquote, are actually finding out they do have Aboriginal status here based upon their bloodlines, especially those from Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, and in Florida. And they're beginning to find this out more and more and more. Those who will have ancestry of Choctaw, Tomahawk, Miami, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Sioux. And you're going to be finding this a lot more because they're doing more studies now, especially those on the West Coast of America. The O blood type is a very dominant blood type because that is one of the oldest blood types here, which can blend with anybody can get in. The O blood type is a very well transferable blood type to all blood types because it's a mother blood type.
So what can they basically eat?
Everything.
What should their diet be consist of? Because I know I'm O, and I don't eat a lot of beef, but if sometime I have a taste for a burger, and if I eat it, I really feel okay with it.
This is where a lot of people, when they study it, beef is actually good for O blood type. Mm-hmm. Lamb is good for a blood type, for our blood type. Chicken is allowable, but not too much in large doses, as well as turkey is okay, but it's not really something that people should actually endure for long periods of time. We are more into the vegetable category, and we still have to be careful with that because if you eat the wrong vegetables, you will have mucus inflammation, hacking up a lot of stuff out your throat. So some vegetables are perfect, while some vegetables you should only eat for healing purposes. A good example of that is pineapples. Pineapples are not really on our chart. However, if you're dealing with an illness, a cold, and you're trying to lose weight, and you're trying to get mucus out of your body, that's the absolute perfect food to eat.
Pineapple?
Another one is, I'm sorry?
You said pineapple?
Pineapples, yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, another one is, what's the other one? Bananas. Though bananas are good for potassium, you shouldn't overdo it because it causes mucus. And the bananas that we're eating them at the wrong time. We wait until they get yellowish. I've been listening to a couple of people where they say you're supposed to eat it when it's green. That's when it's at its best. When you take it off, when you take them off and they turn yellow, that's when they lose their potency.
Mm-hmm. Well, So then the O positive, and then did you say there was another? Because we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to want you to come back for next week because
Part
as
two.
far as part three,
Part two.
because this has really been informative. So as far as the stomach part of where you're having that acid reflux, I really wanted to see if there was any solution for that, but you were saying the rest of the body for about 3 days. What about a detox on that?
Detox is always recommended. Before you start any regimen, you need to do a detox, and that's because the doctor may say you have this, and really you just have a symptom of it that can be corrected with a simple detox. And then afterwards, go get yourselves checked out. And then if you decide to go to another level with the doctor, at least you know where you're at. Most of us who go to the hospital to get checked out, we do not do study in the symptom that we're being told we have. And this is where people panic and they start making decisions, which unfortunately you can end up dying because of. When you ask a person, for example, if a person tells me that they have diabetes, and I ask them, do you know what kind of diabetes you have and how you got it? And they can't answer the question. They can only tell you the medicine that they're getting by the doctor, and they can't even tell you what the medicine is supposed to do, nor tell you what's in the medicine.
Oh, wow.
Because they don't study.
Yeah.
I learned this first. This was the very first lesson that I learned from my elder. We studied colon cancer. And what made me angry at the doctors was a little thing that I read about colon cancer, and I'm going to give you this short story because I'm very long-winded.
And it got to be short, William, because our time is almost. Okay. Well, we give you another couple of minutes. Okay, go ahead.
He asked me the question, have you ever studied how long it takes for your colon to heal? And I said, no, let's take a look at it. And when I found out how quick the colon heals and the intestinal tract heals, I was ticked off. This is the first question that I ask everybody. You have a symptom, look up how long it takes for that organ to actually heal itself. Then you go from there. When I found out my situation could have been reduced in 14 days, and they wanted to give me chemotherapy, I knew something was wrong.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm giving you all my truth. I can back it up. I can show you what I know.
Well, I know because you work with a couple of people
I have a question.
My producer has a question for you, William. This is Mr. Earl Winfrey.
So my food is
problem.
My food is not even making it to my stomach. My food goes to my esophagus and come right back up. So what should I do?
Say that one more time.
Tell him what I said.
Okay, he said that his food is not even making it to his stomach. As soon as he eats, it comes right back up.
What foods are you eating?
Everything.
Okay, that's the problem.
Well, right now he hasn't been able to really eat too much of anything.
Yeah, maybe your body's telling you to slow down. No food for a minute. Do liquids.
Wait a minute. The doctor said what now?
I have H. pylori.
Oh, he said the doctor has. That's what I was trying to tell you yesterday. That he has H. pylori.
Okay, so what I would do is I'm going to do a study on that. If you can text me the information, I'm going to study on that because any symptom that they're saying you having, there's a key statement in that symptom that I look for. And then from there, I can proceed on with the best advice that I have for you. Because right now, what you just explained to me, this has been going on. I'm going to give it maybe 6 months.
For me, yes.
Okay. You need 3 months to 120 days exactly to remedy your situation. And then we can start the healing. There's something in your body, and I can guarantee you it's a parasite issue. You need to do a parasite cleanse first because them parasites is in your bloodstream, which is turning your blood acidic. Go get your blood checked out first, and they're going to let you know what your blood is lacking and guarantee you that you're lacking magnesium and vitamin D and vitamin E. Then the key vitamins that I'm looking for that you're lacking in. and you have a low iron rate. That's why you're having that issue. You don't have enough iron in your body. And if you did have it, I can guarantee you that, pardon my French, your feces will look dark green.
That's correct.
So you're lacking that right there. Go get a blood test and have them take a look at everything that's going on in your body. And then after that, go and get your pH levels tested. You can get a pH strip and see where your pH levels at. Then we can start going from there. But I can tell you right now, you got a parasitical situation and you're seriously lacking magnesium. I know that all the way, because your body will automatically tune itself to fix the problem. You're low in magnesium, or the right type of magnesium, and you're lacking vitamin D.
So let me say this right here. Doctor prescribed for me a lot of antibiotics. What do you think about that?
That's another problem. You're going against your natural body rhythm. Number one, you're only supposed to use antibiotics for no more than a week, because your immune system has to start kicking back in order to fight the problem that you're dealing with. And you're not giving your blood enough nutrients. Your white blood cells are probably not kicking off the way that they're supposed to. So you need to feed your blood to clean it so that it can remedy that issue.
Thank you.
Now, as far as you've had this for, you said 6 months, Earl?
6 months. I lost a lot of weight.
He's lost a lot of weight too.
Okay. There's something simple that you can get to help with that. Creatine, natural creatine. You can get that. You can also, I personally like dark chocolate. And if you can get dark chocolate powder and start doing smoothies and get you a juicer and start applying more juices in your diet, that should help with the weight.
More juices. Are you talking about to pick the weight back up? Well, he's losing the weight. He's losing the weight because he can't eat, because nothing ever hits his stomach.
That's where I was saying the juice. You got to start off. It has to start off with a liquid first. Nothing really solid. And I'm not saying drink large amounts of it. I'm saying just start off slow, because the body got to reset itself. And if you're still taking antibiotics, if you're taking antibiotics and you're still having that problem, you need to stop taking it.
I will. Mm-hmm. Should I fast?
Yes, fasting once a week for everybody. Your body needs a break at least once a day from anything going inside the stomach and the intestinal tract other than liquid.
And then once you do the fast, William, then how do you break it?
The base way to do it, well, because I had a Muslim background, you may eat like something small like dates or grapes just to break it. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then my dietary plan goes like this: heavy day, medium day, light day, fast. Then reverse it: light day, medium day, heavy day, fast.
Now explain that when you say that. Light, medium. Are you saying water and then some juice and fruit?
Pretty much, like everybody has their own system. The way that I do my system is I prepare my foods 3 days in a row before I do anything. So I'm going to give you my example. Okay. We all from Chicago, so we all love our pizzas. So I make my pizzas by hand. So that may be my heavy day. All right. So I start off in the morning with maybe some oatmeal. Then during lunchtime, because I really only eat one full meal a day most of the time, I may have my pizza. Okay. And for dessert, I'll eat some sherbet. Okay. That's my heavy day. Now, my light day may be just fruits: pineapples, watermelon, grapes.
Now, what about cherries?
Cherries is good too. They have anti-cancer abilities times 1,000. I love cherries. Okay. I make juice with it. Okay. So then, now my medium day may be fruits. I may eat a light sandwich And then my light day would be, I take my ammo packs, I make my smoothies for the day, I freeze them, and I'm good to go. If I eat anything heavy, I may eat a light taco, something real small. Then on the fourth day, nothing but water.
Okay. Now, what does your taco consist of?
Kale, cilantro. I may use a veggie crumbles. I may have like baked chicken. Every once in a while, I may cut up some lamb or like some salmon and make me a salmon taco, or some lion's mane mushrooms. I'll season it up real good. Some green peppers, honey mustard, and I'm good to go.
Oh, wow. That sounds good.
And that's the other thing about this lifestyle. You're actually learning how to prepare your own meals so you don't have to spend so much. Because people will say in a minute, well, living like this is expensive. No, it's an investment because it's making you actually get in the kitchen and make your own meals so you know exactly what you're putting in your mouth.
That's very true. Now, let me ask you this. I love seltzer water, and I love the ginger beer. What is your take on ginger beer? And
Not bad at all. Just don't overdo it. That's all. I like ginger beer too.
Okay. Now, it's not actual beer, audience. It's the ginger beer that is, I don't want to say soda, but it is a soda. But you do have to be careful for the sugar in it, correct?
That is correct.
All right, now quickly, because I am going to ask you to come back. I don't want to go over too much, but I'm just going to ask you a quick question. What is your take on sugar?
You have good sugar and you have bad sugar.
That's what
I rarely eat sugar, like rarely. I use monk fruit. Been using monk fruit for about 8 years. It's a different taste because people are so used to the sweetness.
Right.
But you do have options. I know people use brown sugar. There's coconut sugar, monk fruit, and there's other alternatives for sugar, including honey.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to use the sugar that we're so used to, like CNH, pure cane sugar. That's bleached sugar. Sugar is not white. The sugar that we're eating is just like the salt. It has absolutely no nutrients in it. It's dead. Anything that is of a white substance is actually dead.
Oh, wow. Now, what about if you, all of the, what would you suggest to people? I'm not a coffee drinker, but Ed is. What is your suggestion for people that, they love their coffee? What is your suggestion that they put in the coffee, and that should it be decaffeinated as opposed to
decaffeinated? Well, here's what my elder taught me about coffee. Coffee stops your kidneys from operating for its maximum time of 2 minutes. That's why when people drink it, they got to go to the washroom like 5 or 10 minutes afterwards, because the kidneys just kick back on. It shocks the kidneys for a couple of minutes. So I don't suggest drinking coffee unless you're doing what is called a coffee enema.
What about decaf?
Same thing. Coffee is very popular, even if you put like cream in it and things like that. However, coffee is not something that quote unquote African Americans or Black Americans should be drinking because it offsets the kidneys. You should only drink that if you're cleaning yourself out. And as my elder explained to me, for every 1 cup of coffee, you need to drink 2 cups of water. Because you got to get your kidneys. You got to get your kidneys to be activated again because it has to flush out the caffeine that the coffee has, even the decaffeinated. Because you're You're drinking something that comes from a bean. Okay, it's extremely strong. Even if it's decaffeinated, it's extremely strong. So you're drinking something that is an additive of water. It's not straight water. It's supposed to be used to help wake you up, just like a 5-hour energy drink. But your kidneys are working harder because it literally got its own version of a steroid.
Wow. Okay, well,
So now you have mushroom coffee that's out that's more popular. Even with that, if you're using sugar in there, you're still doing more harm than good.
you're talking about with the Riza, or what?
That is correct.
Yeah,
That is correct.
because that's supposed to
a
be the
better
mushroom coffee,
alternative.
though.
I'm sorry?
That's supposed to be the mushroom coffee, so that's
That
supposed to
is
be,
absolutely correct.
yeah. So that's supposed to be good for you, but it's still coffee,
Yes.
you're saying.
Yes, but if you're putting sugar in it, you're still doing damage.
Okay.
And the other thing is that I don't have a problem with coffee. It's the overconsumption of it. People overdo it to where they're drinking this every day. You're not supposed to drink coffee every day.
Oh, wow.
Just like there's certain herbs that you're not supposed to take every day. I'll give you one, echinacea. Echinacea is excellent when you have a cold and you get sick. But after 7 days, you need to give your body a break because it can really put too much stress on your liver and your kidney.
Now hold that thought right there. Will you return next week and tell us about some of the herbs, some of the natural stuff that you have to be careful with?
I promise you, I got you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, William, for joining us. And we look forward to continuing this conversation on next Tuesday here at Intellectual Radio. And I want to give a special thanks out to our producer, Mr. Earl Winfrey, for letting us go over a slight bit. I really appreciate that. You gave us
No
some good
problem.
information to go on with this week, and we look forward to having you back with us next week, because I have some other questions that I want to ask as far as natural, because we do know that was a good thing that you said that, because there's some things with natural stuff that we have to know about too.
Look forward to it.
All right,
Thanks for
thanks
having me
again,
on.
William. All right, thank you. And William, I'm going to give Earl, I'm going to give him your phone number. Is that okay?
I'm all ears.
All right, honey. Thank you. Have a good
No
evening.
problem.
All right.
Thank you.
We're here at Intellectual Radio, and I hope that this has been a wonderful segment. I know it has been a great one for me. I mean, he said a mouthful on a lot of stuff, and I have some more questions. We will resume this conversation on next Tuesday at 6 p.m. here at IntellectualRadio.com. Please tell your family and friends to subscribe and like us and to check us out. My website is IamZemrah.com. You have a wonderful.
I learned a lot.
Yes. And we have some great questions. If you have any questions, again, email me at zemrah1@yahoo.com. And I promise you, I'll make sure that William gets those questions and we answer them for you. Again, thanks to our producer, Mr. Earl Winfrey, for allowing us to go over and
Earl
get
the
this
man.
information. You have a wonderful good evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you know just what to do, you just think